Hello everyone and welcome back to Math Merit. Today we're continuing with our concept review that we got started with yesterday in Algebra 1. Today we're continuing with the following concepts, which is concept 4 and 5. So let's get started with concept number 4. Concept number 4 was graphing a function rule. So this must look familiar since we just saw it just a couple days ago. But nonetheless, let's go over it together again. Okay? So you have your values for x and you are going to solve your values for y using the equation given to you. Then you're going to take your coordinates and place them on the graph. Okay? So let's go ahead and do that. Now, we're going to be plugging in -3 for x. So -3 plus 2. That equals our value for y, which in this case is going to be -1 because we're adding a negative and a positive and the larger number is a negative, therefore our answer will be a negative. So our values for x and y are going to be -3 and -1 for this first one. Now let's just go through the next two. Very quickly. And our following values are going to be 0, 1, and 2. So we're going to write those out. -2, 0, -1, +1, 0, and 2. And there we have our coordinates. Now that we have our coordinates, let's go ahead and graph them. So we're going to start with this one, -3 and -1. -3x is this way. So 1, 2, 3. -y is 1 down. So here's that point right there. Now let's go with our next one. For x we have -2 and 0. It is as so. Now we have -1 and +1. Numbers right there. And then we have 0 and +2. We'll be right on the line. And that is how we graphed our function. Okay? Now, for your assignment, I'm going to leave you something exactly the same. The only thing that will be changing is the equation to be able to solve for y. Okay? Let me put that up right up. Now, for your assignment, all I changed was the equation to solve for y. So, follow the same exact steps that I just took to solve your coordinates for x and y, and then go ahead and graph them. If you have any questions, please make sure you ask. Now, let's go into our last concept, which is concept number 5. Now, our last concept that we will be reviewing is concept number 5, which is arithmetic sequences. Now, sequences are a list of numbers that are in a specific order. Now, we learned how to identify the pattern in a regular list. Now, we are given the how to solve the pattern, but we are not given the pattern itself. So that is what we are going to be figuring out. So our first digit, our sequence, starts with a number 2. What are we going to be doing? We are going to be plugging 2 in to our equation to be able to get the number that follows in the sequence. So let's get started. We're going to have to plug in 2 right here. So let's just write it right down here. So 1 plus 2 minus 1 times 2. 2 minus 1 is 1. It's going to be a positive 1 because the 2 is positive. So it's going to be 1 times 2, which is obviously 2. And then to finish off, plus 1. Our next number in the sequence is 3. Now, let's plug in 3 and see if we can figure out the next 2 digits for our sequence. So let's go on with plugging in 3. We have 1 plus, in parentheses, 3 minus 1 times 2. 1 plus 3 minus 1 is 2. And 2 times 2 equals 4. 4 plus 1 equals 5. So 5 would be the number that follows in the sequence. Now, let's just do one more. So we're going to be plugging in 5 into this equation and getting our following number in the sequence. So let's go ahead and do it. 5 minus 1 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 plus 1 is 9. So that is the following number. And if we continue plugging in the numbers we get, we will continue the sequence and it'll be that pattern. And that is literally all we do, plugging in the numbers that we are given. So let me give you your example, your assignment. Very well, so the equation that you are given is 2 plus, in parentheses, n minus 1 times negative 2. That is what the equation you're going to be using to figure out the following numbers in the sequence. Now, your sequence is going to begin with the number 0. Again, if you have any questions, don't hesitate and ask. I'm here to help you guys. I hope to be hearing back from everyone very, very soon, and I hope you all have a very wonderful rest of your day. Goodbye.